as you all could already say, that we have Mr. Dinesh Singh, the CTO of NDTV Limited, and Mr. Madhu Soman, the head of Bloomberg Sales Asia Pacific. So they're going to be discussing on how will bundling via OTT affect Indian news broadcasters. So I request Mr. Madhu to fire away. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for inviting us, Vijay, and also welcome to the chat, Dinesh.
Thank you, Madhu. Thank you very much.
To those of you who have signed in, over the next 20 to 25 minutes, Dinesh and I will try and unbundle some of the key themes around news content in the OTT world, especially in regards to the Indian market. And the main question is, are these challenges or is it a whole new world of opportunities? So my first question to Dinesh will be, let's get that elephant, let's try and tackle the elephant in the room. Quite a few OTT platforms have decided to remove news channels from their offering earlier this year. How did it affect Indian newscasters, and what is the state of play now?
I think, yes, this decisions has been, like most of the OTT players have taken this decision in the month of July, actually. So, if you see most of the big broadcaster in India, particularly the news broadcaster in India, they have their own OTT platform. And they are very much active on the biggest platform, which is YouTube, actually. So YouTube is, you can say, is the biggest platform. And then every news broadcaster have their own OTT platform. So as the OTT helps to increase your viewership through multiple platforms. So even if few OTT players have decided to remove the, so it's a loss to the news broadcaster, but not to a level that it will impact really, actually. But if you see today, the way the market is growing, the way the market of the social media is growing, news is not like only is perceived only through the OTT platforms. It's perceived through multiple options, actually. So in a way, yes, even like if you see, like I'll give you example of Hotstar, the people watching Hotstar, if they don't have the link for any particular news channels, won't impact them much, actually, because most of the news broadcasters have their own app, on website, and most of the people, if they particularly interested in that, they straightway hit to their own platform, actually. And that's the way every big news broadcaster is preparing for this future action, actually.
I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. And I also heard other industry leaders suggest that OTT forms a minuscule component of the news audience in India. And those who want to catch up on news will switch to more traditional options or even the Facebook page. That's exactly what you said also. But how sound an argument is that? It's like, is that a sustainable play? Because at the end of the day, it's all about eyeballs, right?
Yeah, it's end of the day, it's an eyeball. But at the same time, where is the max eyeball actually today is? Because news, like if any news is perceived nowadays, the way, like you have two viewers, actually. One is OTT viewers and one is TV viewers, actually. TV viewers, whoever will be the TV viewers, they will be okay to news like capsule, bigger, documentary level, debate level. But the people who are on OTT level, they want to consume fast. They want to consume while they're on work, while they're on move. So for them, like news, like even if somebody is delivering a news of 2 minutes in 10 seconds, that would be the best news, actually. So in that way, I don't think so that if some OTT platform has removed the TV channel has really impacted, actually. It is, but then you have so many other platforms where you are, like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Telegram. So you have multiple platforms, and any loss is loss, but at the same time, but yes, you have so many other platforms are also available. And of course, news broadcasters have their own platform also, which basically, in my view, any platform, any news broadcaster platform will like to increase his eyeballs on his own particular platform, actually.
If I can step in here, you kind of broadly touched upon many of the issues that I'm curious to pick your brains on. So I would kind of unbundle them one at a time. So we all know that there are around 200 million plus TV households in India. There are about 890 million of our 1.4 billion population is being addressed. And there is also the telecom play where we are already projecting about 1 billion mobile screens likely in the near future. So, but news caters to a much smaller segment among them. And if you look at English news, it's an even smaller segment. So how does this play out actually? But at the end of the day, we all say that we have multiple segments to look at. You mentioned people, news is more palatable to people on the move. So I will get into that later. But if it's about eyeballs, and given a household, and if the eyeballs are distracted or taken away by the OTT screens, how does news how does news stay relevant in the household space actually? Because at the end of the day, I think the advertisers will be keenly monitoring that matrix, I suppose.
See, the thing is that there is a market for it actually. Like there are people who prefer news over other, like you can say the GEC segment. Of course, the GEC segment is more popular for OTT actually, and the daily soaps and other things actually, which is basically is the major chunk of the viewership along with the sports and other activity. But in news, like there are segment who like to view the news actually, and who basically want to keep themselves updated about what is happening on the ground actually. And thankfully in India, news is a daily, daily something comes up and which becomes a big news actually. So news, of course, if we compare, like the way you said that English already is a very niche, but within niche also, with this like various apps which available on the mobile have increased. In my view, it's English who's got more eyeball with this OTT platform, with various social media platform, because most of the people, like either they have a Google notification or other app to receive. So it's English which comes up first actually, more than Hindi actually. So in a way, it's win-win. We're not losing it actually. That's what my view is. Nobody's losing it.
That gives me a nice segue to how compelling the content needs to be, and how will news or factual content evolve and adapt to these new evolving platforms and screen time. So my question is, breaking news and prime time debates have been the mainstay of traditional news broadcasts probably for the last 8 to 15 years, actually, if I'm not getting it too way of the mark. So my question is breaking news and prime time debates, are they still relevant? Because if you are catering to people on the move, they need not necessarily be that keen to sit through for a 45-minute or a 60-minute debate actually. So how will we tackle that contradiction in our content offering?
I think on the move, breaking news still stand relevant, because breaking news is one thing which, like if you see 2 days back when 2-3 days back when the Prime Minister addressed the nation in the 9 a.m. actually. So the breaking news, it was like every single mobile phone had a notification, and the breaking news on the top of that actually, that all the 3 form law had been reappeared actually. So breaking news will have a major breakthrough, major attention on the OTT platform also. As far as debate is concerned, debate still perceived very well in India, and even though they are longer, but I would say this is my own personal view on it, nothing to do with the company which I represent. in India, the audience is becoming mature now. So they prefer to see the debate, but they want to see the debate more not the noisy debate. Actually, I would say that actually they prefer to see the debate which makes sense. And what I seeing in the last 1.5 year is there are veteran journalists who have started their own YouTube channels, and they're doing debates in the evening with 2 to 3 personality in a very, and without keeping, time as a constraint, that this has to be accommodated within 40 minutes. They do it on the basis of how the contents are growing, how the debate is going, and they go up to 1.5 hours also. And when I see their views on the YouTube or elsewhere on the platform, their views are growing like anything. Actually,
I understand the free form bit of because we are in the wide world web and the internet. There is no limit on volume and content that we can kind of keep streaming. Yeah. But if I can kind of dig a bit deeper into the concept of content. You work for a premier news channel in India. You're probably in touch with others in the industry. Are any of you exploring any new programming content which are kind of targeting the OTT world? And if they are, what does it look like, or what should it look like? Because I'm very keen, because we launched a streaming service called Quick Take in November last year, and we are very clear that we want to our target audience is the audience on the go, and we want to kind of give them the kind of content that they want, where they can access it, how they can access it. We make it shareable, we make it snackable, etc., etc. So are any of the Indian broadcasters actually working on content that is specifically targeting the OTT world, or do we go back to the old argument that no, it's a minuscule component, we are comfortable where we are?
No, it's not like that. See, you see, if TV is a one-way communication, like whatever you send is a one-way. Only you come to know how you perform maybe a week later once you get the TRP or viewer rating about that. But with this OTT content, where you basically whatever you show, you immediately come to know how it has been perceived actually, and that has become when any TV broadcast is running OTT platform also, and on OTT platform, suppose if you like you said, Quick Take. Suppose you publish 20 stories in the morning actually, and once the 20 stories has been published on the TV, they just gone actually. So you will come to know only how they performed only maybe a week later. But on the OTT platform, you will come to know immediately actually. Maybe in the next 1 hour, you come to know how the story has been viewed, which story has been viewed more actually. And that will give an internal that will give an internal feedback back to the TV that, okay, out of these 20 stories which has been run, these 10 stories are doing really well. These 5 are really top. So you can decide on TV also which has to be run actually. So you maybe
just to take it back to the viewer. So the control and the power of the remote is firmly back with the viewer. Is that what we are saying?
Yes, of course, that is. So basically, it's a good for us, good for any editorial decisions also. Like you decided that okay, today. Like I'll say on the Bloomberg Quick Take, which is a great streaming platform. So basically, you publish maybe 30, 40 stories, and but every stories have own viewers actually. So you will come to know which stories is doing well with which population, age, how it has been, So from that point of view, you can quickly decide, okay, these 10s are doing really well. Let's put them on top 10 and. Rest of the 30 can be, put in the second priority actually. So that way, it is helping both TV also.
Yeah, we are clearly a very data-driven company, which means that we value whatever feedback that we get, and the more dynamic it is, the more we will kind of adapt and evolve. And what we have on offer, that's why I'm trying to figure out whether, because we have. As you rightly pointed out, we put out, let's say, 20 or 30 news assets or news items in a 24-hour cycle along with our live shows. We have the duration of those assets can be as small as, let's say, 35 to 1 minute long, and with data visualization tools being used to the maximum, to even hour-long documentaries actually. So, so the sweet spot is somewhere there, and then that we are obviously exploiting the medium where we know that we are not constrained by the old traditional TV's matrix of time-bound half-an-hour programming or 1 hour programming. We are throwing everything out there. Clearly driven by the research that we get in-house, and we are trying to see which will stick at what point of time, which demographic, and we are taking it from there actually. So that's where I'm curious as to whether, to go back to the question that I asked you earlier, are Indian broadcasters also looking at OTT friendly content, if I can call it that?
Yeah, I think that's without say actually. You basically, because you have to really analyze, like you both, like, because you have to see, OTT has to be, I can only say that for all the TV channels now, OTT is the forefront and the TV is the back, basically. So the OTT, you can say, decides, you cannot ignore OTT. Basically, OTT is a driver for TV actually. I would say in that sense. Yes, TV infra gives power. TV infra, basically, because that infra is a big infra, that gives you power to collect the stories. You have an infra to take those stories to the final form. But at the same time, it's the OTT which gives you the power to analyze that how your content is doing actually. So and you have to create stories, and same thing what you said just now on the quick take, and I'm sure about it when you do the algorithm, with the algorithm which you have, which checks like how it's doing, you will find that the story which are less than 1 minute must be doing much better than the programs
they
which
are
are longer.
and when we stay social, because streaming is closely aligned with the social media, that content is clearly snackable and shareable, which means that there's a lot of appetite. We have seen as far as initial responses go, we see a lot of appetite for that. Now, just to kind of step away from content, another question is, how is the ad market viewing your presence in the OTT world? Because I do see the challenges. And how do you hold on to your current players? And are you attracting new players? Are you losing revenue because of OTT? Because you know where this is coming from. Because news is relevant, but is news as a business sustainable in the current climate? Because we need to ensure that the right amount of the right kind of content is made available, because news and current affairs will always be important to the society. So how is the ad market reacting to that? Are you still getting ads in the media players to back the right kind of news content?
Yeah, they will actually. In my view, that's again I'm not on the sales side actually, but I'm saying you have to take them together now. Like you cannot just do that. Okay, this is TV viewership. This is your OTT viewership. You have to go together. You have to present that. Okay, my viewership is this much on this and this much on OTT. So you have to go together so that you can present that. Yes, I have a reach to these many people actually, and the collectively reach only will help you to gain on the advertising market. If you just go just as a TV and just as a OTT, then you may lose the battle actually. That's my view.
That's so true actually, because the more you fashion your content with the flavor of the future, so that we are kind of lockstep with the march ahead as we explore new streams to deliver compelling content to the audience, I think the better served we are in the news marketplace. I have one more question around the business. I feel happy to tell me that you can't answer, because OTT is a very subscription driven business, and news doesn't necessarily sit well in that space. So again, how do we tackle that kind of conundrum actually, as to how do we increase new subscribers in the OTT space? Because unless you have a digital play where you put your content behind the subscription wall, how do you tackle the OTT world vis-a-vis subscriptions?
Yes, that's true that still news people like to perceive free actually. They don't want to pay for that. But yes, and that's true for others also, but people still pay for the movies, pay for the GEC programming. But But even in then, we are a paid channel. All the 3 channels which we're running is paid channel and under subscription. So that's I think, Indian market also growing towards that, and let's see how in the future it goes. But as on today, yes, you have to rely more on advertising, and subscription is really something not really visible as of now, actually, in India.
I think it was wonderful talking to you, Dinesh.
Thank you, Madhu. And I just want to know more about the quick take, actually, frankly. Even though I have gone through the on your platform about it, but just want to understand more on it, actually.
We started Quick Take as TikTok because we partnered with Twitter as their breaking news partner in 2017.
Okay.
Even though we are known as a business news content provider, Twitter decided to work with us on offering breaking news video on the platform. And that relationship lasted for about 3 years, and then we saw potential, and we decided to launch. We rebranded TikTok as Quick Take and launched it as a streaming service in November of 2020. We currently have around 10 to 12 hours of programming, which is primarily out of the US, but we are expanding rapidly, and it is a 24/7 channel, which, as I mentioned earlier, I don't want to do a sales pitch, but we have 30 to 40-second news snippets with datagrams, etc., to actual full-length documentaries. And we are throwing it all out there. There's an interesting, we are trying to protect ourselves for the future. It is not traditional TV, and we are very proud of what we are taking out there, and we hope more and more people will watch it. And maybe we get inspired by what is out there in the Indian market. And we hope that the Indian market will get inspired by some of what we do, and they try to create for the streaming platforms and see whether news can stick in the platform. I think,
Great.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Back to Vijay. I think I can't see questions from anybody, so I think that's it. Thank you so much, Vijay, and back to you.
I think Vijay mic is mute.
Yeah, Vijay's mic is mute.
My apologies. Yes, it is. So it was indeed a great session. Thank you so very much, for doing this, and I'm sure our audience loved the session. And thank you very much.